unusual that both skippers are goalkeepers in this match. Truskin on the right hand side, just waiting for Velasquez, his opposite number, to join him. I'm not sure I've seen this before at under 17 level.
When you take the ball, you choose the side.
Just the one change from the Russians after successive 1-0 defeats, and on paper at least it looks a little negative. Central midfielder Ilmir Nurisov drops out to allow Alexander Golovin to come into a 5-man defence. Number 9 Shadeyev is the lone striker. From the coach to his goalkeeper. Kamuka there, originally from Turkmenistan. Says he still believes his side can do it. They have to as well. Check on the substitutes. As mentioned, Nurisov there, number 18. Only a replacement today for the Russians. Yellow cards, by the way, do carry over into the knockout round. It's the first ever meeting between Venezuela and Russia. So where we go, Russia in all white, attacking the goal away to our left in this first half. And you would think we might get some drama, some action, and plenty of goals this afternoon, because point these teams playing in a defensive way. They have to win. I'd like to think that both coaches have emphasised that point. It's up here by Zuev. Now Yakuba. Guliev on the ball early. The Spartak Moscow midfielder. Missed all the qualifiers through injury. Here's Herrera. This is dangerous already for the Russians. They've got two waiting in the middle, but the cross was poor. Pity. Shadeyev was in there, so was Zuev. Good work from Alexander Makarov. A little bit muggy this afternoon in Fujairah. Not much sunshine, not too far away from dusk, but there's usually a glimmer or two still remaining at this time of day, just after 5 o'clock local time in the afternoon. Baby-faced Elias Guliev, one of those on a booking, so if he was to be cautioned, he would miss the last 16 if there was one. Plenty of time for Franco Diaz. Pumped forward by Masera. Watched carefully by Chernov. It wasn't the best header though. It's going to come for Guliev. Now Zeltsman, who's the main playmaker. Caraballo, who has scored in this tournament so far. Masera, deflection on that away for the corner, and straight away we've had a half chance at both ends. Wasn't very well cleared, was it? It could have gone anywhere. Clearance hit his own man. It would have been hugely embarrassing. As it is, it's only a corner. Plenty of red shirts, or as I described, port red shirts, waiting in the penalty area. It was just over the head of Diaz, who was completely unmarked. It's a soft free kick awarded to Venezuela. Beg your pardon, it's gone the other way. Crowd still arriving. Well, two Russians got in a real tangle. Then it's Zaltzman. We'll start from the Venezuelans. The shot didn't have any real power. So Jose Caraballo plays at the Caracas club. All he scored was against Japan earlier in the tournament. Meanwhile, here's Yakuba. Every sign so far, even in the very early exchanges, this is going to be a hugely open contest. A shove in the back by Golovin. Free kick Venezuela. And a couple of substitute appearances so far. Alexander Golovin given a starting berth today. Sarah. Herrera. Sarah again. Nowhere to go there. There was a foul on Danila Burinov. And he's just moved from Spartak to Dinamo Moscow. Sarah's foul. It's very good battling from Zaltzman. Former Barcelona youth player, now at the anti-club in Venezuela. Showing good tenacity. In the end, he won himself a free kick. All the way across here for Tineo, the fullback. Didn't have the happiest time against Japan. He gave away a penalty in that match. That was a weird kind of dummy from Benitez. Not sure who he was trying to fool. It didn't work. Here's Makarov for Russia. Now Guliev past Zaltzman. Makarov on the overlap. That's Sergei Makarov. There's two. Alexander Makarov wearing number 7, and it's a free kick here for the Russians with just over 5 minutes gone here in Fujairah. No score. These two teams have both lost their opening 2 games. First chance for Russia to test out this Venezuelan defence, and particularly Nico Velasquez in goal. He's only 5'10", he's not the biggest. They do have some big men, the Russians, both centre-halves, Chernov and Wojanyasov. So their number 9, Shadiev. It's a very dangerous delivery. They got away with that, rather. Zuev coming in, couldn't get on the end of it. Just got an initial flick, I think, by... In fact, it was off the defender, wasn't it? Franco Diaz, I think. We just took it away from Zuev. Marufo. Well, that was a really cheap giveaway. So was that. Just lack of concentration from Shadiev. See his coach's expression on the touchline. He was not amused by that. It's a nice turn. Yakuba. Golovin. Try to play it into the near post, really have the pace, and that's going to be a free kick for Venezuela. A tad theatrical by Tineo. Wasn't that much in there. It was a foul clearly by Golovin, which he acknowledged. See how much holding going on in the box. I tell you what, Nikita Chernov was wrestled to the ground. It's almost like a line of scrimmage in American football, that. The referee had a clear view, and it's difficult for him to see everything that goes on. Might well have given a penalty. Cleared away by Mitrishkin. Now that will be a shove, and that was promising because Makarov was on the charge there, and Jose Marufo, in rather unceremonious fashion, has shoved him to the deck. Maybe a tad fortunate not to get a card for that. But further punishment may follow. We've seen one dangerous delivery already that's caused a problem. Chernov is there again. So too Zuev, who nearly got on the end of the previous one. Signal to someone. The referee's keeping a very close eye on what's going on in that penalty area. Good clearing header from Benitez. Makarov after this again. Another free kick. Once again Marufo the offender. So that's two in quick succession from the Venezuelan number 4. Now, is this going to be a yellow or a final warning? It might be the latter. But I think that was pretty clear, the body language from Daniel Bennett. One more infringement, sir, and you'll be in the book. The jostling that's going on already, and once more the referee saying, look, enough is enough here. Zuev and Musera, I think, were the two he was speaking to. Meanwhile, Janyasov waits to deliver again with real pace, but too close to Baker Velasquez, and a safe catch from the goalkeeper, and a good throw which really Andres Herrera should have done so much better with. Won it, cleared away by Diaz. Now Makarov has seen a lot of the ball in the first half, the Russian number 7. Well, keeper called for that, taken out of his hands by Diaz, and that might be potentially damaging decision, because it's another free kick for the Russians, and this time in a very threatening position. Foul on Golovin was by Benitez. And Janyasov, who takes pretty much all the free kicks, whether they're from out wide or like this one in a more central position, is poised to have a go here. The other man over the ball is Golovin. Venezuela it is. Deflection corner. All did its job well. It might have been Macera who had hit. So 5 in the area waiting, including Shadiev, who's good in the air, but it was a poor corner. Benitez, the first defender, got it away, and it's going to run here for Caraballo, desperately short of support, and he couldn't carry the ball with him. Well, he beat about 3 there, Guliev. He was fouled at least twice. Free kick to Russia. Happy to play it short. Zuev. Kicked off by Macera. That's a nice turn. Caraballo just for a moment looked like he was going to get away there, but the defender did well to get back, and now the Russians have it back themselves. Bit of space here for Buranov. He fancy taking on his man, and he's chipped it in instead. There's no flag, and it's the first goal for Russia for Alexander Makarov. All seemed to happen in slow motion because the Venezuelans completely switched off, and inside quarter of an hour here the Russians have drawn first blood. The lovely ball in from Buranov, and Makarov had a relatively straightforward task. Buranov picked it up here, not really pressured enough by the defender, allowed to cross, and the first time header into the corner. Now here comes Herrera, trying for a quick riposte, but not with a pass like that. Zalzman. Capable of playing some decent football, Venezuela, but too often it's rather more pretty than productive. And here comes the goal scorer, Makarov again, and he's won a corner off Jose Marufo. 17 years old, Alexander Makarov, plays at CSKA in Moscow. Golovin has gone across to take this corner kick. Once again, the delivery left a lot to be desired. Caraballo's header, and no-nonsense thump from Yakuba. It's more good distribution from Velasquez. Once again, Venezuela guilty of squandering possession, very clumsy fashion. Kept alive by Shadiev. Now Makarov. Shadiev's back in the middle. Here he is. He's offside though. He would have still had to have turned the centre half Diaz, but it didn't matter because the flag was up. And that's an excellent decision from the assistant. Sometimes the striker is concentrating so much on making a run like that to the near post, don't forget to look across, see where the last defender is. the best ball this time from Yakuba. Herrera will chase, but he won't keep it in. And of course the first goal Russia have scored in this tournament. Teneo. Zuev. Nice turn away from trouble by Zulzman. Bringing Hernandez into the game on that left-hand side. And he got absolutely no joy at all, did he, against Sergei Makarov there. A very strong right back. Might think twice about trying to go on the outside again next time. No nonsense thump up the pitch from Burinov. Just going to be careful of the bounce here, Diaz. And the goalkeeper did too. By Masera, free kick Russia. Mentioned that Russia, the current European champions, they beat Italy on penalties in the final, beat the Swedes on penalties in the semis. They only conceded one goal in the whole of that tournament, so that's a measure of the task that Venezuela have got to score against them. Guliev, Makarov. Still Makarov, got his cross in. Easy one though for Velasquez to deal with. The layoff was by Zulzman. Well challenged, Golovin, second favourite there, but he won it. Trishkin very calmly in clearance. And Russia might be in business again here. Guliev. Golovin. Now Zuev. It hit Teneo. It's come back to Yakuba. Volleying opportunity here. Fabulous hit from Guliev. And what about that from Velasquez? That's a top draw save. He can't believe he hasn't scored, Guliev, because he hit that absolutely flush. And Velasquez away to his right. Very strong hand. You can bet your bottom dollar as soon as he hit that, he's thinking that's in. Not this time. So another Russian corner. It's their third. Keeper's come, he didn't get there. He's a lucky boy, he was beaten to it by Shediev. Velasquez, who just made that glorious save, was quite literally beaten to the punch by the Russian centre forward. Free kick Venezuela. So we're at the midpoint of the first half. Russia leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of Alexander Makarov's 16th minute header. And here he is on the ball now, the goal scorer. And he's allowed to go a long way, and he's still going. And he's fed Golovin. Isn't quite into the number 10's path. He would have liked it more accurate than that. And here come Venezuela back into Russian territory. It's a very watchable game. Nice shimmy by Zulzman. He's got past another. Well done by Caraballo's gone for the return, couldn't get there. Corner kick Venezuela. Caraballo and Zaltzman are the two I think who are going to have the most chance of opening up this Russian defence. It's Venezuela's second corner of the game. It's Rafael Dudamel, former goalkeeper, actually once scored against Argentina from a free kick. It's a big moment of fame. So Zaltzman will take the away swinger here for the Venezuelans. It's just over the head of Marufo arriving at the near post. Here's Hernandez. I didn't think he was intending to play it in quite that low. Might come here for Achera. Well defended by the Russians. Only as far as Hernandez though. Caraballo. Did well to keep his balance there and still. The shot was charged down. Crisp hit from Lamantia. Could be wrong, but I'm not sure Lamantia has actually touched the ball up till that point. Not in any significant way anyhow. This is Shadiev. He knew that Makarov was going to be making that diagonal run. Well, it's a Russian corner. It wasn't the best delivery. Tineo slightly got himself in a muddle there. So Alexander Golovin will take the corner for Russia. Goes without saying, they need the win, but they score a few goals, so much the better. Here's Makarov around the back, and he did very well, and he teed up Wojaniasov, who couldn't find a finish to match the approach work. Not had a lot to smile about so far, either of these teams in the tournament today. It was by Wojaniasov. Shadiev. Free kick. A little bit predictable as well, that. Already taken. Zaltzman. It's Caraballo. Herrera. Caraballo again. Waiting out wide, Macera. Step over to give him some angle, and he managed to find the angle and delivered a really telling cross, which Caraballo might have done better with. It was great work from Macera. And it did come very quickly at Caraballo. Couldn't hit the target from close range. Pressure might stay on here though. Caraballo, he's a tricky customer. Drove it across goal and was entitled to expect someone to gamble. No one did. Golovin. Makarov. Just a slight bit of concern because Rado Machera limping back from an offside position. I think he's okay. Here's Yakuba. A giveaway. Zaltzman. And likewise. Good feet from Lamantia, at least initially. Well, he managed to escape, did Wojaniasov, then he was fouled. There's Makarov. Benitez. All the way across for Tineo. Golovin. Uliev. Venezuela with markedly more possession, but certainly the Russians, when they have it, look considerably more threatening. Hence the scoreline. Zuev. Strange kind of cross. It's going to earn the Russians a throw. Isn't the easiest ball to deal with. Baranov. Didn't catch that at all. And I think the Russian coach, Dmitry Kamuka, will be pretty happy with the way things have gone. His team a goal to the good. Played some good football. And we've played now for exactly half an hour here at the Pajero Stadium. In play by Sergei Makarov. An awful long. That's too high. Scooped it over Caraballo. Just maybe needed to get it out of his studs a little bit. It's always rising. But certainly they've shown enough, the Venezuelans, to suggest that they are capable of getting back into this. Goal kick goes short to Denis Yakuba. Not the best of clearances though by Matruskin. Makarov. Is that a push? No, referee, very good position to see it. Saltzman wasn't given any chance there. It's lucky that Marufo was on hand. The ball broke kindly, but they have given it away far too often, the Venezuelans. I'm sure Rafael Dudamel will make that point to them at half-time. Here's Zuev marauding down the left, but it's not going to reach it. Well done by Tineo. Raballo. And for Herrera. Caraballo still waiting in the middle. Here he is. Caraballo wouldn't come down for him quite. Trying to find room for a shot and just crowded out by a posse of white shirts in the end. Zuev. Beat one, but then ran straight into the second defender. Well, this time the referee's patience has been exhausted, and there's a card coming out for Eduardo Macera, and that means that he will miss the next match if, and it's a big if, Venezuela qualify for the last 16. So they need to score twice here, at least, to have any chance of doing that. Baranov with the free kick for Russia. In towards Shadiev. Thumped into touch by Hernandez. Hasn't gone into touch. Kept alive by Makarov. Header only found Buranov. Wide from Golovin. Now Zuev. Met firmly by Marufo. Harabalo looks the man most likely, and he's skipped past the defender again. Support inside him. He went outside, and there just wasn't the room there. Zaltzman looked a bit exasperated. He was in an excellent position just inside Harabalo. He could have certainly got a shot away if Harabalo had found him. Sarah. Zaltzman. A bit of space on that left-hand side. Three waiting for a cross, and that is very disappointing. Under no pressure, really, Hernandez. Straight into the gloves of Anton Matrushkin. Zuev. Guliev. Good turn of pace, Guliev, and not a bad shot either. And just for a minute, Velasquez was scrambling. I think he did have it covered, but an anxious moment at the end. If it was just a little closer than he initially realised. Header on. Harabalo. It's a bit short, and that would be a free kick though. Challenged by Golovin. Left. It's Benitez writhing, and it's going to be a caution. So one book from each side now. I don't think you can have too many complaints about that. And David Zaltzman will take this free kick for Venezuela. Floated it into a dangerous area. It was very well defended. Rojanyasov with the header. And Dmitry Kamuka knows that his team are at least giving themselves a chance of getting to the hat for the last 16. Here's Yakuba. Flicked off the head of Becerra. Herrera will chase it, but it's not going to drop for him. Away by Rojanyasov. Safely back in the end with Shadiev on the prowl for the Russians. Benitez. Becerra. Zaltzman. Getting it out wide to Hernandez at every opportunity. And he's having real trouble against Makarov, the fullback. Buranov. Shadiev, lovely touch that. And here comes Golovin with Shadiev to his left. This is Shadiev for 2-0. He's done it. Really good breakaway goal for the Russians, and they double their advantage. Shadiev scores his first of the tournament, and a very good time to get it too. 39 minutes gone almost, and it's a big task now for the Venezuelans. Another look at it. It was well worked between the two. Golovin with the pass. Shadiev, one to control and one to dispatch low to Velasquez's left. No chance for the keeper. It's the kind of pass you want. You don't have to break your stride. Goes without saying that the bigger the victory, the more chance of Russia making it into the last 16. I mentioned they had 2 1-0 defeats, so their goal difference is now back to 0. Sarah. On by Golovin. Shadiev. Another free kick. Russia winning too many of these for Venezuela coach Rafael Dudamel's liking. 5 minutes to go then in the first half, and that's the healthy position that Russia find themselves in. Here's Sergei Makarov. Absolutely blasted that across the box. Too hard and too high. Caraballo. Sarah. Zaltzman. Voronov. Is Benitez. To give Venezuela credit, they never stopped playing, they never stopped attempting to play this short passing game that they like to employ. No question of them trying to belt it long. Knocked out wide by Lamantia to Hernandez. Zaltzman. Sarah. Zaltzman. Herrera. It's good play. Nasera, can he find a penetrating cross? It's not a bad one. And it's hit firmly by Lamantia, but well blocked at some cost, I think. So Russian down in the box. Just getting to his feet now. I think it's Makarov. But at the other end, half chance almost for Golovin until Marufo covered. Now Makarov. Just a slight hint of a limp, but I think he's okay. Guliev. Now Buranov. Zuev. Yakuba. Not the best of clearances. Buranov. Swinging a complete miscue by Nasera. It could have been very embarrassing. Golovin. Russia fancy another maybe. Deflection! That could easily have been it. Well, there's a change coming here for the Russians. And it's because Alexander Zuev is clearly injured and can't carry on. It's a pity for him. And it's Rifat
Substitution for Russia.
Semeletdinov.
Alexander, replaced by player number 90,
ترتيب المنتخب روسيا خروج اللاعب رقم 11
Semeletdinov, who
ودخول اللاعب رقم 19
is of the Lokomotiv Moscow club. One substitute appearance so far. Looks like he's going to go into a wide right position, the replacement. Well, Herrera went sprawling into the free kick. Yakuba was the Russian defender. The defender hasn't got to that. Goal kick. Did well in the end under Semeletdinov's pressure. Wouldn't imagine it would be more than a minute of stoppage time. We played the 45 and the board says 60 seconds.
The additional time is 1 minute.
Makarov galloping down that right-hand side. He does love to charge forward. Can he find a better cross this time? He can. It's a really good one. It's come for Golovin. Inside of the post, I think. Looked like it was in, but it wasn't. Buranov. A free kick right on the edge. This will be the last kick of the game, but how is it not 3-0 already? Well, did so well, Makarov. Golovin. Yep, inside of the post and away. Extremely unlucky. And that's how the free kick was won. We've played the additional minute, so this surely will be the very last chance of the half. And Russia trying to establish a 3-goal lead here. Looks like Golovin fancies this. Kojanisov is also there. It's Golovin, it's 3. Hit that really sweetly, and it was one of those that was in the minute it left his boot. Absolute precision with the placement there. Round the wall, past the goalkeeper. And the Russians here in complete control. On the side today and repaying the fate of Dimitri Panuka, manager. That was, as I suspected, the last kick of the half. It's been all Russia, hasn't it? Alexander Makarov gave them the lead early. Then Sherdiev doubled the advantage, and as you've just seen, Alexander Golovin with a really good free kick has put the Russians in a seemingly unassailable position. Bailey bringing on number 20, Hector Cantelli from Caracas, who's a striker. Caraballo's come off. He must be injured, because there's no way they would take him off otherwise, surely. Other than that, it's as you were at the end of the first half. Referee just waiting for the signal from the touchline. So away we go. Venezuela in the dark strip, attacking goal away to our left. Starting 3-0 down and in big trouble here. Just wonder what Rafael Dudamel, the Venezuelan coach, said to his team at half-time. So demoralising as well when you concede literally the last kick of the first half. Here's Hernandez. Herrera, get a free kick for that. Challenged by Chernov. So Lamantia will take. If they could get one back early, just might give them that spur of confidence, but at the moment they look a little demoralised. Full start from Lamantia. This time he does deliver. That's into a very dangerous area too, and just about grabbed it. Machuskin, who's not had very much to do. That might have been just sneaking into his inside his far post. Might well have been an own goal as well. Hard to tell in the crowded penalty area. Nice turn by Salzman, and here's Cantele. Couldn't quite get there. He's going to play as the furthest man forward. Cantele, the substitute. See whether Salzman can pick him out. Some of those telling passes he can play. There's Golovin. Definitely a nudge. So it was Letnidov, and good defending by Marufo. I thought it should have been a penalty. I'll tell you what, he's got a case. There was contact on the blind side of the referee. Well, now away goes Herrera. So rush them down, but they're going to play on, and Herrera shoots, and shoots pretty tamely. Keeper's put it out so that his colleague can get some treatment. To be honest, I didn't see exactly how the injury happened. Got a few concerned teammates around him, as Ochanisov. Well, that was the penalty shout. So Miletinov seemed to have a case. Marufo's challenge certainly didn't play the ball. He couldn't believe he didn't get a spot kick for that. I would suggest that maybe the theatrical nature of the fall didn't help his cause. Shouldn't make a lot of difference, but referees are human. So Similetdinov seems to be okay. Salzman. Not the worst delivery, headed away by Chernov. Certainly come out with positive intent at the start of the second half, the Venezuelans. Nice turn by Lamantia. Tried to thread it through for Herrera, but there was no room. Makarov couldn't keep it in play. Lamantia. Still in. A little bit scrappy on this near touchline. In the end, Chernov whacks it clear. Tinea. Well, looks like there might be a bit more activity on the bench here. The Russians might be making a second change shortly. Meanwhile, it's Makarov. Shadiev. Referee will bring it back. Decided there wasn't enough of an advantage. Towards that near post, headed away well by Marufo. Now then, here's Herrera on the charge. Can he pull one back for Venezuela? Great defending, still Herrera though. And then the second shot was a little wild. Well, 4 marks to Makarov there. Originally it was number 5 who made the challenge, Yakuba, and then Makarov threw himself at Herrera the second time just to try and put him off a little bit. And between them, the 2 defenders did the job. Free kick Venezuela. Tineo off the shins of Alexander Makarov. Tineo again. Yakuba's header. Herrera couldn't control it. Makarov succeed in finding Timoletdinov. And here comes the second change. We said it was imminent. It's Golovin coming off just, 7 minutes into the second half. And Danila Veronov.
For Russia team, player number 10, Golovin Alexander, replaced by player number 13, Boranov Daniela. تبديل منتخب روسيا بخروج اللاعب رقم 10 غولوفين ألكسندر ودخول اللاعب رقم 13 بورانوف دانيلا.
Miscontrol by the substitute. Here's Herrera. So here's the corner then for Venezuela. Made a good start to the second half. It's gone short. Useful delivery, and the header is wide. The Mantia crossed that perfectly. Was Cantele sliding in, who couldn't get a touch. It may well have been Tineo who won the header at the far post. It was. Oh, betwixt and between. Frustrating. Kick to Russia. Viliev sent sprawling. So 10 minutes gone in the second half. And the free kick pumped in, but just too big from Rodriguez. Wasn't that far away, was it, from Baranov? So Letvinov's been a bit of a threat down the right-hand side since he came on as a substitute. Another change for Venezuela. Luis Rodriguez on for Jose Hernandez.
Substitution for Venezuela team. They are number 13. Hernandez Jose replaced by their number 11.
Rodriguez plays at the Pachuca club. Midfielder, but an attacking midfielder.
تبديل منتخب فنزويلا تخرج اللاعب رقم 13 هرنانديز خوسيه ويدخل اللاعب رقم 11 رودريغيز لويس.
So what can Venezuela do in this free kick? Committed plenty forward here, including Herrera, who's the lone striker. Tineo is there, who just won ball in the air a few moments ago, and it was aimed at him. It was a bit too high. And all the way through, though, to Macera. This cross was a pretty decent one. And in the end, a comfortable save for Mitrushkin. Shot was from Lamantia. Header away by Marufo. Flicked on by Macera. And Rodriguez, just about his first touch, into a central midfield role, the substitute. Herrera did really well. Quite feed it out to his teammate. And that's a fairly blatant shove in the back by the Venezuelan number 7, Andres Herrera, and it's going to earn him a caution. So he's another now that would miss, not that it's particularly relevant anymore, a potential last 16 game. There's no need to do it, really. So Letvinov. Well, certainly have wanted to deliver a better cross than that. Rodriguez. Diaz. Tineo. Marufo. Nice little sidestep from Benitez. Herrera. I'd be surprised to learn Venezuela for 59% of possession, but Doesn't always tell the whole story, and that's certainly the case here. Marufo. Saltzman. Marufo again. Benitez. Becerra. Oh, that was a nasty one. It's a yellow card. Just for a moment, I think he might have thought there might be worse coming. Rodriguez, he's only just come on, and straight into the referee's note. But that was really clumsy. Probably clumsy is a diplomatic word. Reckless might be a better one. Just being told by Rafael Dudamel that he's going to calm it down a bit because we don't want to be down to 10. That's what will happen if you make another of those kind of challenges. Looking at the 3 Russian goals. First the header into the corner, and the excellent finish from Shadiev, and then the free kick from Golovin right on the stroke of half-time. Here's Teneo. Now Rodriguez, fresh from that telling off he got. Now Benitez. Marufo. To Saltzman. Marufo again. Played just past the hour here in Fujairah, and it remains 3-0 in Russia's favour. Not that they haven't had the odd opportunity, Venezuela, to get back into the game. In particular, that header from Teneo that could so easily found its way through to Cantele. On another day, it might have done. This is Makarov. Becerra. Now Benitez for Diaz. Marufo. Now Saltzman. This is the reason why the possession stats are as they are. But there's no cutting edge for the Venezuelans. That's the problem. Back to Rodriguez again. That's a better ball. And just in a nick of time, the defender got a toe in to deny Cantele at least a shot on goal. Challenge from Ozhanyasov. And a corner to the Venezuelans. That's 7 in the penalty area here, and the Russians have got every single player back defending it. Rodriguez. Everyone stayed forward and everyone stayed back in a white shirt. That's not the cross they were looking for, and they're going to have to get a move on now because there might well be a Russian breakaway. They're screaming for it on this near side. Shadiev was all on his own and he wasn't spotted. Now he's got it. Shimoletdinov. Makarov on the overlap. Might still get to it. A little bit of a coming together between those two. Makarov holding his face. Marufo holding his left knee. Meanwhile, at the other end, it's Herrera for Venezuela. La Mantia in first time, but easy for Hojanusov. Shimoletdinov, that was lovely skill. Just left two trailing in his way. Well, maybe he should have released it. He probably couldn't see it, but Shadiev to Shimoletdinov's left was screaming at him. They didn't release the ball. Well, it's end to end. It's almost like punch and counter punch here. Waiting on this near touchline is Becerra. Rodriguez, Herrera. Hender did well to stick with him. Herrera though found a way round the back. The touch was just a little bit heavy in the end. There was double cover there, and Michushkin able to dive on it, and yet again a Venezuelan move comes to nothing. Well, this was a tussle between Makarov and Marufo. Oh, you can see why Makarov holding his head. I don't think there was any intent at all from Marufo. It's just completely accidental, but he caught him in the head with his studs. He's okay though. They breed him tough in Russia. Tonight in Group C. That's a lovely little ball. Good cover from Benitez. 2 games tonight in Group C, and then Groups E and F conclude tomorrow. So until we know the results from those, we won't know if Russia are going to be extending their stay in the United Arab Emirates. That was a really good challenge, wasn't it, by Benitez. Guliev is the man who's down. Benitez. Tineo. Benitez again. Oh, it's great work from Shadiev. He's the only striker. Just about got a bit of support now. He's done marvellously well. The sort of thing that coaches love when they see the centre forward do that. Makarov. And the attempted chest pass back to Makarov didn't work. It's Baranov who wasn't able to find his colleague. Sergei Makarov. The free kick. And another yellow card. And a few of them. Wasn't a very tidy challenge, was it? By Benitez, so he's in the book as well. He's another that wouldn't be able to play if they had a last 16 game, which we know we're not going to now. Of course, these bookings And these suspensions do carry over to the next competitive fixture that they play, so just because they're not in the last 16, he's not going to get away with it. Makarov. So Miletdinem, he's round the back again. It'll be a free kick right on the edge. I think the contact was just outside. He had a long look at that, Daniel Bennett, the referee. I think we'll find he's spot on. Yeah, just there. He fell in the box, but the challenge was outside. Only just, but still outside. How Marufo's not been booked tonight. Must be 6 or 7 free kicks he's given away. Now, opportunity for the Russians. Janyasov is over it. Kept 3 back, Russia. Played short and no contact from Shadiev. Here's Herrera. Only got Cantelli ahead of him. Work again from Guliev. Marufo. Alive by Macera. Janyasov. We've shown too much of that to Herrera, who's taken it from him. And just hesitated. It's been that kind of night for Andres Herrera. Nothing's quite gone to plan. Well, 4 marks to Tineo for durability there. Must have gone past 3 or 4 challenges without making a yard of distance. And here comes the third and final Venezuelan change. It's Andres Benitez coming off. And Jose Marquez, striker, coming on. Has got 1 goal in the tournament so far.
Substitution for Venezuela team. Player number 5, Vinicius Andres, replaced by player number 9,
Marquez plays at the Araquat club. And they're needing to produce some serious heroics now. Shadiev trying to find Guliev, who got the touch. Just wide. Well, he had to improvise a bit there because he was really stretching. The ball was rolling towards the goalkeeper. Just able to get a toe to it, and agonisingly wide of Velasquez's post. Wide from Rodriguez. Suspect that the crowd would like to see Venezuela score. They probably deserve to get one for the tenacity with which they play. It's another yellow card. It's time for Baranov. That's 6 yellow cards in total now. Bit of a giveaway. Rodriguez hit his own man. That just about sums it up for Venezuela. It was a good hit as well. I think it might have hit Macera. Tele, Saltzman, for the last quarter of an hour now. Herrera, Rodriguez. Not sure what that was meant to be. Didn't work anyway. And everything they've tried, nothing's come off tonight, the Venezuelans. Just to show you how far they've come, I mentioned it was their first time for a major tournament. They lost all 4 qualifying games in 2011. And still, of all the South American countries, they only have Bolivia below them in the under-17 standings. They did actually qualify second in the South American Championships, but of the 8 goals they scored, 7 were netted by Andres Ponce, who is not here in the UAE. He's injured. And of all the players they could have lost, he was the one they wanted to least. Rodriguez. Amantia. It's just a tad late from Guliev. Wasting no time with the free kick. Saltzman. Tineo. He's done well to keep that in play, Macera. Possession still 59%, but that's not the most important statistic. Here's Saltzman, looking to get what would probably be a consolation now, but you never know. Hit one back, things can change. Saltzman again. And the pass behind Marquez, gone the other way. He's worked very hard tonight. Shayev deserved his goal. Given away to Herrera, who goes down, looks at the referee and gets an icy stare in return. It's almost like the Russians have played within themselves in this second half. They pretty much knew they had the game won. Here's Guliev though. Russia poised to make their third and final change when the ball goes dead. Here's Makarov. That's his namesake, Sergei. Well, it was a nice turn from Macera, but the referee called the play back for the free kick. So here's the last change. Dmitry Baranov is off, and Ilmir Nurdisov, who has been starting of late. So Nurdisov on with just over 10 minutes to play. It's at the Chertonova Moscow club. It's an attacking midfielder. Couldn't reach Shadiev. He's going a long way round here, Yakuba. There's a few tired legs out there now. Even though it's not as hot as it has been, still pretty warm. This was the penalty shout. And you've seen worse, haven't you? Maybe not quite enough in Hojanyasov's challenge, but there's been one at either end that conceivably could have been given now. Tineo. Rodriguez. Marquez. Maybe he's a bit too unselfish there, Shadiev, because he had maybe the chance to get a shot away, trying to feed it out to Makarov outside him. It's well won by Guliev in the challenge. Very clean in the tackle. Tried to literally throw it through a gap that probably wasn't there to get it to Shadiev. Rodriguez tried the nutmeg on Nurisov, who wasn't having any of it. Herrera. Final ball syndrome again. Really has hurt Venezuela, not just tonight, in the tournament as a whole. Had opportunities in both the games that they've lost previously to today. Against Tunisia, beat 2-1. Japan, they lost 3-1. Tineo away. Hojanyasov watched the bounce carefully. Now Russia in the mood to get a fourth. Shadiev, unselfish again. Tried to feed it back to him, did Nurisov. And once again, Guliev causing problems. Hacked down by Diaz. And here's a free kick for Russia in one of those positions where someone will really fancy it. No card for that, incidentally. And of course, Golovin, who scored in the first half from a free kick, he's been substituted. So who's deputy free kick taker in the Russian ranks? Looks like Hojanyasov is going to be the man. It is Hojanyasov, and that was always going over the top. With an anticlimax, really. More danger to the cameraman than the goal. Disappointing. Resigned look on Sivaleddinov's face that the ball didn't reach him, and the coach Kamuka, who's a pretty hard taskmaster. 3-0 up and have the game won, but he doesn't want any bad habits creeping in. Ball's broken here to Nurisov. 4 against 4 here. Wasn't the best of balls. It might break for Shadiev. He's still there, Shadiev. Shadiev for Russia. 4-0. Full marks for perseverance, because a couple of times it looked like he'd lost it. And the Venezuelan heads go down. Russia have 4. And they've given themselves a chance. That's all they could do. Shadiev second of the game. Coming in the 85th minute. Left foot, fairly crashed it home.
ضد منتخب روسيا بواسطة اللاعب رقم 9
Past two tired defenders. Well, they couldn't score for the first two games. Suddenly, we've got an avalanche of goals. But we have to wait to see whether it will be enough to take them through to the last 16. Less than 5 minutes of normal time to go. It'll be the keepers. So they now have a goal difference of 3 points and a goal difference of +2 as it stands. Nurisov. The other thing, of course, is that Shadiev's on a hat-trick now. Away by Chernov. Simoletdinov. Nice control initially from Makarov, and let it get away from him. Herrera. Herrera again. Still full of running, apparently. Simoletdinov. Get his foot under the cross and get any elevation on it, and then he's pushed Marufo in the back. Makarov has stolen it. Onside here, Shadiev, but just couldn't get it out of his feet, and Marufo, who initially wasn't goal side, managed to get back and make the challenge. Rodriguez. Offside, disappointingly, from a Venezuelan point of view. Just didn't look along the line, did he? That will not enamour him to the coach, that's for sure. That was at the other end, where just for a second it looked as though Shadiev might be in with a chance of a hat-trick, but Lufu solidly in with the challenge. Cleared away by Tinea. Makarov. Makarov again. Armentia. Rodriguez. Didn't see Uliev coming. Uliev's had a really industrious game, and that's a sweet touch as well. A solid challenge coming in from Diaz, just as Nurisov looked like he was about to produce something. The Russians have it back, though. Nurisov might be in again here. Oh, I tell you what, in the middle, Shadiev was screaming for it. He's still got his arms out, because he would have had a tap in for his hat-trick. Just watch the number 9 here. Any layoff he has to score. He can't really blame Nurisov for going for goal, but he got that all wrong. And the chance of Ramil Shadiev being able to complete a hat-trick here diminishing fast, because we have just about played the 90 minutes of normal time. All a question of how much will be added on, and it's going to be 3 minutes. Free kick to Venezuela, which looks like Lamantia is going to take. Love to get a consolation, say they've scored in every game they've played. Not much of a consolation, admittedly. Lamantia then delivers, and just needed the faintest of touches from Marquez, and it would surely beat the goalkeeper from that range, but as it was, he didn't get a touch. And Mitrushkin held on well. He looks like he's going to earn his first clean sheet of the tournament. And that will hurt Sergei Makarov. Felt that from here. It's going to be a card. And he's been booked, Macera, and 2 yellows make a red. Well, that's a little unfortunate. I don't think the referee had any choice at all. And Macera very sportingly, despite being sent off, is... Well, I don't think there was a lot of grace there from Sergei Makarov. So they're going to finish the Venezuelans with 10. It's not been their night. Lamantia. Trushkin will grab it safely enough. So moving to the final minute of time added on, there might be a touch more time added for the sending off, but not much, I wouldn't have thought. I don't think either side would want it anyway. Marquez. Block challenge from Makarov. Makarov away. Some anger in that clearance, I think. Rodriguez, Marquez, Lamantia, and again now Rodriguez. So the keeper off his line of fraction. It wasn't a bad effort. It's the last action of the half of the game, and it's a crushing win for Russia by 4-0, and it gives them just a glimmer of hope. They could make it through into the last 16. Shediev there got a couple of the goals. Alexander Makarov got the first. A wonderful free kick from Alexander Golovin just before half-time. And although Venezuela had plenty of possession, they just didn't create enough. Final score here, Venezuela 0, Russia 4.